For both parties involved, buying a box, albeit digital, is a terrible route to go down. Let me elaborate. When it comes to the male side of this equation, it simply distills women down to your one basal desire. It doesn't make you any more attractive, doesn't improve your acquisition capability, and then you don't end up entertaining any sort of genuine burning desire with them. It treats sexual access like a pure transactional relationship, and that's a terrible frame to set. Because, yeah, then you just start to view women as sexual objects. Nothing else. Not as human beings. Not as anything more holistic. You don't end up having a fulfilled relationship. Because you just take the easy route out and you just pay a couple $100s in order to get your knob slobbered on for a couple of minutes. It's like, there's no winning going down that path. I'm just saying, man. And then on the female side, which we're going to be talking about here right now, when you start selling box, then you start to see the worst aspects of men, because you think you're going to be attracting high quality men like that? Absolutely not. You're going to be entertaining the misogynists that need to get their rocks off. You're going to be entertaining the lower class of men that you never would have considered in the first place, and then you end up reducing yourself down to the lowest common denominator, reducing your worth to just the simple gash between your legs. It's terrible, man. For chicks thinking that they can just go ahead and secure an easy bag, all this shit comes with long-term problems, and this is going to be an epidemic in the years to come for all of those chicks that are just making bank right now and then spending it as such, and then just like, athletes, professional athletes from years gone by, realizing that, oh God, they're about to retire, but they didn't save any of their earnings throughout their careers, or they didn't make wise business decisions, and then all of a sudden, their money starts to dry up. And they've wasted the best years of their life and all their potentiality to have a fulfilling life in the later years. It's tough, man, and I do have a lot of sympathy for as many jokes as I make, but this is a not uncommon story. OnlyFans model goes viral after quitting, as she's not attracted to men anymore because, yeah, she sees the lowest quality, worst aspects of men on a daily basis. All she gets hit up by is just the dorks that don't have any attractive qualities in real life, have zero social skills, and then just go, no, let me see your tits. It's just not attractive. It removes the mystique, and it's as appealing as playing poker, but everybody shows all of their cards to everybody. It's just a simple numbers game at that point in time. TikToker Kimchi Princia, I don't know, we'll just call her Ling Ling, revealed that after 1 year of creating content on OnlyFans, she now does not have any attraction to men anymore. Over the last few years, more and more people are turning content creation into their full-time job, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, or other platforms. Let me tell you what, it's been about Actually, it has been a full 3 years on the platform for me, and because I just simply whore out my mind, and I cover a whole host of topics, I'm not getting burnt out anytime soon. You're going to need a wrecking ball to take me out of here. Because, yeah, I have the ability and the luxury, too. I'm definitely not taking this for granted. I can simply assess a situation. I can talk about it. I can banty around different ideas, see things from a different viewpoint, and then, yeah, just go ahead and, put my thoughts out there for the people to consume, whether you like it or not. I appreciate you clicking on the content to begin with. But these chicks, when they just simply market their sexuality, that is their primary agency when it comes to the sexual marketplace. Whether they get hit up or not, that's going to be a hit. It's like, oh, they only want me for my sexuality, or if you don't have a particularly profitable day, oh, what's wrong with me? Am I losing my looks? That weighs a lot on a woman. OnlyFans is another option for content creation, and some creators have made crazy amounts of money doing it. Yeah, we've seen TikToker Kimchi Princia turned to OnlyFans in 22, as she has been documenting her everyday life as a sex worker on her TikTok. Yeah, gross. On July 25th, the creator opened up in a now deleted TikTok video that the money was the only upside of doing it and that it isn't worth it anymore, Insider reported. She began to open up on how starting her career on OnlyFans had been fun, creative outlet to create content. No, it's just an easy way to secure a bag because that's the way that all of these chicks started. But she went on to reveal how she started to feel super burned out after 6 months and had struggled with mental illness since then. I feel a little bit dead inside. I feel completely desensitized, and I don't know, not to sound funny, but I really don't feel any type of desire or attraction to men in general anymore. Yeah, Exactly. Because you're not dealing with the guys that you find attractive. You're just dealing with empty avatars or just the lower class men in society. The guys that are paying, what, $5, $6, $7 a month in order to see pictures of your butthole or scream at you in DMs. Yeah, like it says down there. She said that the main reason she started to get conflicting thoughts about her work were the disgusting DMs her followers sent her, as some users who sent these messages appears to have girlfriends, wives, and families. Exactly. Because that also might end up, just breaking her reality by just confirming that men are only as faithful as their options, that men want a certain amount of sexual variety in the same way that she wants the quality of her desired partner. And by being consistently online, selling your most marketable attribute, you're doing it for guys that you don't deem worthy enough. That's why you're running into these problems. Later in the video, she also revealed that the money was the only upside of doing it, and it almost isn't worth doing anymore. In response to the video, fellow TikToker and OnlyFans creator, yeah, I'm not shouting out these whores, made on video, okay, where she said that the work on OnlyFans had made it hard for her to have a relationship with men. She felt like her job just made them see their true form. Yeah, exactly. You see, not the true form, you see the worst aspects. Because prostitute and Johns, they're the most distilled form of this disgusting, just unfortunate game that we all play. Women want to be courted and romanced in order for them to, give up the panties. But in this such scenario, well, no, you're just cutting out the middleman. Here's $10, let me see your tits. But yeah, as it says, despite her thoughts, she revealed that she's not a quitter and always sees things to the very end. Yeah, because of course you kind of painted yourself into a corner, right? Because obviously, like, Asians aren't my thing at all whatsoever, but I can understand, okay? Like, I'm sure that she's probably somebody's type that's out there. But given the fact that she's an OnlyFans model and went viral for the fact saying that she's not attracted to men anymore, this is obviously also, just a cry for help as well. Help me, I'm not attracted to men anymore, which is just a silent call for any attractive men that want to come out here and play Captain Save-A-Ho. That would be fantastic, but there's way too much trauma right there. I wouldn't even touch that with a Korean man's dick. Oh, maybe she's Japanese. I don't know. Really doesn't much matter. But no, as Myron from the Fresh and Fit podcast always says, short-term money comes with long-term problems, and she's finding out something that other industries have known for a long time. Very similar industries, and we'll talk about Bree Olson as an old-school O&A fan. I love to bring this up whenever I have the opportunity. Bree Olson, she was one of those, as Jimmy Norton would call it, good eggs who had a crush on little Jimmy Norton, and that was that was really funny radio back in the cut. But then Bree, well, then she just started to do other things, and she's had a troubled past and a troubled life, which normally ends up leading girls in order to do the old corn. And then, of course, well, she was also the centerpiece of one of the more public relationships that were out there. And now, because, well, the wall doesn't forgive, the wall doesn't forget, and the wall is undefeated for a reason, then she starts to look back at her life like so many of her other contemporaries and shame the industry that got her name, got her prominence, and she was having so much fun engaging with at the time. But then, when the piper comes to collect, well, all of a sudden, well, shit sucks, y'all. Exactly. And we're going to be seeing so much of this stuff in the next few years because the internet doesn't forget, and the internet casts a wide net, and there are a lot of fish, pun intended, hopping into that net, not realizing the long-term consequences. I use the analogy, or I heard the analogy, and then I'll just go ahead and parrot it. When you're reading more nonfiction books, I guess they'd be described as self-help or something like that. But like the Robert Greene stuff, some of the old Stoicism books, whatever you want to call them, okay? Like they're extrapolating on the ideas of Marcus Aurelius, Miyamoto Musashi, all of your old ancient thought leaders, all of the ancient Athenians and ancient Greece philosophers. When they distill down their knowledge and extrapolate it out on different canvas, they are standing on the shoulders of giants. You would think, if there was any foresight from these chicks that just weren't blinded by the amount of cash that's just rolling in for their basic bitch looks, they would take a look in the past and just wonder, wow, what happens to all of those porn stars that just kind of come through the industry and then end up having a shelf life of like 5 years or something? They get a whole lot of money, man. It's like, if you want to talk about gender pay disparity, okay, the porn industry, it is rampant over there like a rabbit. But That's all right. That's fine because, yeah, you go in, you try to secure your bag, and then you hopefully end up getting out the other side fine. But when it comes to the men, what is it? Life After Porn. I think it was Netflix or something like that. They took a look at the male porn stars that were in there. And then afterwards, they all seem fine. Like they have, a healthy life. They have a wife. They have a family. They all seem like they're doing great. But as for the women, yeah, they get out for a little while. And then they get addicted to something. And then they just never really, they just kind of bounce from job to job. Some of them end up going back into the industry, but the overwhelming sentiment is they just kind of regret their decision, where it's like, okay, couldn't you, all of you OnlyFans girls that are out there that are heeding all of these warnings, or at least should at least be taking note of these, stand on the shoulders of giants and realize that, ooh, yeah, it's probably just best if I just go ahead and fulfill my biological imperative of, I don't know, locking down the best quality man that I can get in order to have a family, which is the hallmark and the gold standard for happiness for women in a long-term sense, is creating a family with a husband that they love, admire, and respect. No, you just want to be that strong, independent boss babe, but then not realize that you're not really wired for that stuff. So let's read a little bit of this. A former porn star, Bree Olson, goes public. I'm shunned by society. Yeah, we know. Bree Olson was one of Charlie Sheen's. Yes, of course. Back at the time when he was winning everywhere, until we found out that winning was code for HIV positive live-in girlfriends. And now she lives in a dark world with a public that ignores her. And yeah, this was a news story back in 2016. 2016, man. Back when she was, 29 years old. Wow. I haven't heard anything from her in a long time, and I tried to do a little bit of research, but Jesus Christ, man. It's tough. It's tough, but oh well, them the breaks. Former porn star Bree Olson has spoken out for the first time what it's like to carve out a career once you leave the adult industry, and it's a damning indictment of life post-porn. 29-year-old quit porn in 2011. Jesus, 12 years ago only, and has since been trying to transition to mainstream acting. Yeah, okay, for every Sasha Grey that's out there, there's hundreds and thousands. Should start up a Twitch stream. For many, she's best known as one of Charlie Sheen's infamous goddesses. But again, as an O&A fan, like I said, I just know her from a couple of radio bits. One of several girlfriends Sheen lived with during his infamous 2011 breakdown. That was back in holy shit, man. It's hilarious. I'm not getting nostalgic for these hoes, but I just remember him just losing his fucking mind. When I go out, I feel as I'm wearing slut across my forehead. Well, you used to get fucked on camera. All the mean things people say to me on the internet, that's how I feel when I walk out the door, Olson says in a video interview with a Real Woman, Real Stories Project. And yeah, you can just go ahead and, confirmation on that one. What happens to Lana Rhodes right now? Now, Mia Khalifa seems to have a similar story. Like, these aren't one-off events, man. Like, this shit is consistent across the spectrum. I've gotten to the point where there are days and weeks that I don't leave my house because I don't feel like facing the world. I'm so disappointed when I meet a new friend because it turns out they don't want to be my friend anymore. It's easier for me to stay inside my house. Olson says that during her porn career, she was making up to $60,000 per month. $60K a month back in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I could go back to the industry and make that. I could make $20,000 in 1 week if I wanted to. I don't, because how much I don't want my photos on the internet. Oh yeah, they're all still out there, photos and video. I guess if you're so inclined. People treat me as if I'm what? Okay. They don't treat me like I'm an ex-sex worker. They treat me like I would be damaging to children. Well, yeah. I'm just saying, man, you're a bad genetic bet. That's what most guys are just, ooh. Yeah, ooh, she's oh, yeah, no, I'd definitely take a swing, but ooh, for long term? Oh, no, not somebody who's had everything splayed out there, just busting it wide open for anybody who could just go ahead and, pass a couple of tests on the internet. Ooh, I don't think so. Really don't think so. Asked how she'd like to be treated, she breaks down. I wish people would treat me like they wanted... that they treat a married registered nurse with 2.5 kids in Indiana. That's how I wish people would treat me, but it'll never happen. That's probably why I don't think about it. Yeah, exactly, because guess what? Your actions have consequences. In an opinion piece accompanying the video, Olson, whose real name is Rachel Oberlin. Why do you got to dox her like that, man? She's just trying to move on. She's not trying to use her stage name anymore, for Christ's sakes. Writes that she receives no money from her porn career now. Yeah, because you got paid up front. A lot of money that you didn't save, and you live in Indiana. Like, you should be living pretty well on the money that you made. Despite the fact that her images and videos are still viewed countless times online. Should have negotiated a better deal. Should have got points on the back end when you were doing things in the back end. Now there's no royalties in porn. I see the ads today and the movies are everywhere on the internet. The faceless people behind the industry still make millions in my face. Yeah, all that shit. But whatever, man. People recognize me off just my voice alone. That's kind of weird. Porn is one of those industries where the more successful a woman is, the more she will suffer for the rest of her life. Yeah, exactly. What are we seeing right now when it comes to these OnlyFans chicks? Yeah, seems analogous, huh? My biggest regret was leaving the industry, leaving all the money and trying to get the world to like me. They still don't. They never will. I should just put in another 5 years at least to start that in my smart financial years as I was older. See? Easy come, easy go money. I could have saved enough to live comfortably for the rest of my life. And yeah, dude, like, I don't even see these OnlyFans chicks, spending their money appropriately. The only one that's doing it is probably Amaranth, who's out there, setting up gas stations and shit. But yo, man, there's so many of these chicks that just, flex their Gucci bags, their Louis Vuittons, their extensive wardrobe, not realizing that money is eventually going to dry up one day. And then when you start to dry up, there's not going to be any simps that are going to be around there to catch you because, yeah, Bree Olson, she was one of the big names back in the cut. And she's telling a painful tale, which I don't really revel in sharing. Like, it's kind of upsetting, but then at the same time, you chose this path. Kind of like all these other chicks that are out there choosing the exact same path, not realizing that these short-term games are going to come out with very long-term problems. And hey, man, for the amount of antidepressants, all of those medications that these women are being prescribed right now, it's only going to get worse in the future. It's going to be abysmal, man. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, if you know somebody who's thinking about hopping on just to, just sell some feet pics right now. Just don't. It doesn't matter if you're just showing a little bit of nipple. It doesn't matter if you're busting it wide open and taking on all comers from the neighborhood. The moment you start up an OnlyFans account, any sort of illicit picture or video taking endeavor, you're going to carry that stigma. And everybody's just going to view you like you were taking on the entire team, even if you wouldn't. So I know this message isn't going to hit anybody's ears, but if it eventually does, just make the wise decision. Understand that the internet is forever, and that money that's coming in right now, well, you better stow away just a little bit for the future in therapy that you're going to require. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.